Kick, punch, it's all in the mind. If you wanna test me, I'm sure you'll find the things I'll teach ya. Sure to beat ya. Nevertheless, you'll get a lesson from teacher. Now kick,
Kick, kick, kick, kick, kick.
punch,
Punch, punch, punch, punch, punch, punch.
jump,
Chop, 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 chop.
block.
Block, block,
Once
block,
more
block,
now,
block.
kick,
Kick, kick, kick, kick, kick, kick, kick.
punch,
Punch, punch, punch, punch, punch, punch, punch.
jump,
Chop, 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 chop,
and
chop.
block.
Block, 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 block.
Don't get cocky, it's gonna get rocky. We're gonna move down to the next jockey. Now duck,
Duck, duck, duck, duck, duck, duck.
jump,
Chop, 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 chop.
on,
Chop, 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 chop.
pause. Listen carefully, jump,
Chop, 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 chop.
pause,
Ho, 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 ho.
duck,
Duck, duck, duck, duck, duck,
and
duck.
turn.
Turn, 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 turn.
Yeah, I see you're getting better. Kick to the limit in order to get her now. Kick, punch,
Kick, 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 punch, 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 punch.
chop, block,
Chop, 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 lock, 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 lock.
chop, kick,
Chop, 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 kick, 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 kick.
punch, block.
Punch, 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 punch. Lock,
Gonna
lock,
get
lock, lock,
harder
lock.
now. Duck and jump,
Duck, jump, duck, jump, duck, jump, duck, jump, duck, jump, duck, jump, duck.
turn and pause.
Turn, 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 turn.
Oh, wow! I am not ready to cast this morning. But here we are. We are here for today's STPL. I'm probably only going to cast one of the two series and catch up with the other one tomorrow. But we'll see what happens depending on how long the games are. Basically, I am partially hungover, so that's going to be interesting. But I know it's a little bit awkward timing as well with ASTL, but there's people who watch the VODs, so it's all good. They can check what they miss there. And if the games are as long as I think they're probably going to be, we could be here for a while. So it's all good. Yeah, I'm partially hungover. I didn't drink too much because I'm not stupid. I'm just a little bit hungover. And I overslept, so I'm a little bit not with it yet. I'm not usually... So I'm going to let you into a little secret. The reason why I usually cast in the evenings is because during the day, I'm dead. It doesn't matter how much sleep I've had. It doesn't matter how long I've been awake. I am asleep until about 8 PM when all of a sudden I wake up. And then I'm awake until like 2, 3 AM because I can't sleep. So that's why. Yeah, I'm just a night owl, I guess, and it's awkward. But we've got two teams coming up for you today. Here is the format: set 1 to 4. The lineups are selected in advance. All games are played at the same time. Set 5 is the ace match, which means every player can compete again. Let's have a look at the teams. So starting us off, we do have Ash. Ash is a very fun team to watch, we've actually got the debut of OctZerg, who is a relatively old school player from Macedonia. He's our first Macedonian player in the STPL, and his flag looks funky as hell, so that's kind of cool. We're going to have the Ghost King Radley himself in game 2. We're going to have Kwark in game number 3, and then we're going to have HitEmUp, aka Logan, in game number 4. But when I say I think it's going to be long, it's because we've got Radley, and I can't remember a game of his that hasn't gone on for like 30, 40 minutes the last few games, so we'll have to see how that's going to go. But let's have a look at their opponents. It is going to be red, so we've got LML, their captain, MasterReY, Cryoc, and rOuta, and it's kind of cool. It's really, really cool that we're going to be seeing these players today. I definitely think that these two teams, out of a lot of the teams, are probably the closest in skill. I think we're going to have a pretty good matchup here for sure. We've got a ZVP starting us off with OctZerg versus LML, a TvP between Radley and MasterReY, a PvT with Kwark and Cryoc, and then a TvP between HitEmUp and rOuta. And guess what? We've got 3 Terrans, and I bet I'm not going to get the Terran teams once. It's going to be Protoss teams all day. I bet. I'm willing to I'm willing to almost bet on that. You know what? No, there's no point in me betting. I've got no money to bet with. It's all good. But yeah, it's going to be a fun series, I think. We won't introduce our players, at least OctZerg anyway, just because he's not actually played in the STPL before. But LML has done really, really well. His PvZ is definitely in the STPL his strongest matchup. He's actually at a 75% win rate over 8 games, which is incredibly impressive. You can see the only Zerg he actually lost to recently was Dragon, and he actually beat Beast from Seoul. Beast being one of the top amateur Koreans. Well, I say he's amateur, I think Beast is semi-pro, because he did have a pro license back in the day, if I remember correctly. LML is just a really good PvZ player. It's just Dragon, ZVP, and PvZ, I would argue, is one of the best in the foreign scene. Like, his ZVP is ridiculous. But either way, we're talking about LML here. LML, a very good player. Looking forward to seeing how he's going to do here against OctZerg. The map they're going into is Tears of Goddess. We've not had too many ZVPs here so far. I mean, out of all the matchups, it's almost in the most. Looks like Zerg have a little bit of an advantage on this map. This is actually where LML lost to Dragon, I've just realised. So it'll be interesting to see if LML can get his revenge on this map. Let's find out as we get into game number 1. What I'm going to do is I'm going to unpause it when we get in the game here, because there's a cool effect that we never actually get to see because it always ticks away before. But basically, when you spawn in, it looks like your workers. Warp in. But here we go. I think it's so when Goswami made this map, he essentially put a recall animation. Yeah, legit caught. What it was I don't want to cast on Sunday evening. So it's like I deliberately tried to avoid doing that, and then I realized that doing it in the morning, what is it? ASTL is on, so I do apologize for kind of butting into that, but either way, starting us off here in the top right hand corner in the green, fighting for Ash, it's OctZerg from Macedonia. And his opponent spawning up here in the top left-hand corner, both of them saying ASL apparently. He only asked him where he was from, but he gave him his age and his gender as well. But starting us off in the top left-hand corner in the peach, fighting for red, it's LML. And yeah, basically on Monday last week I returned to work after like 10 days off. It's the Afrika Star League, the Afrika... What's it called? I thought it was the ASTL. Is it not the ASTL? Yeah, it's the Afrika TV StarCraft Team League. It's really cool. I wanted to watch it, but I'd rather catch up with my casts, because otherwise I'm going to be behind and then everyone will be mad with me. So now we've got a gate first coming in from LML. Yeah, I know even BlindROuta was a little bit confused as to why I would start casting now, but basically, I don't have much time. I want to chill out on Sunday evening before I go back to work, because going back to work is depressing enough as it is, and I just thought I'd catch myself up the best I can. Depending on how long these games are, I might cast the second series as well, but if it goes on too long, I will just cast the other one on, well, tomorrow, and then we'll just do 2 games instead of 1 on Wednesday. That isn't too bad. At least that way I'm still catching up with myself, but I knew that if I had 2 games overhanging, then I would just be constantly behind, and that is not good. Being behind in casting feels so bad. Like, it's just, ugh. Oh, I'm so far behind. It doesn't really help that I was drinking yesterday, so I'm ever so slightly hungover. So I'm going to be interested to see how well I can actually cast in this condition, but there we go. Ash versus Red, though, definitely these 2 teams, 2 of my favourite to watch in the STPL, and the most important thing for me today is essentially, for the entire tournament so far, Red have pretty much just had a pure Protoss lineup, because all their best players minus Cryoc are like a Protoss. You've got MasterReY, you've got LML, rOuta's been playing a lot of Fisheye. I don't think he's played, but he's one of the better players. And then you've got 1 Terran and Cryoc, but somehow, when one team submitted 3 Protoss players, we got no PvPs. It's a miracle. Christmas came late, but it's a miracle. It's a Christmas miracle right here. But we got 3 TvPs today, which is crazy. This is Zerg music though, so we didn't get Protoss music on all the games. So that's something. Nice micro here by LML, getting a ton of these lings. Doing an okay job, still gonna lose both of his zealots, but still did force out some additional lings, which is gonna help him a little bit later on. Of course, OctZerg does have the option of going for an all-in behind this. OctZerg going into his 3rd hatchery, only on 12 drones at the moment due to those lings that were built. And he is going for ling speed before he goes for lair, so... Now, Annabelle getting in a position, this is not walkable, so he is going to lose his zealot there. Doesn't get the best trade, he doesn't actually manage to kill a Zergling, but he did kill a decent number beforehand. Now, this is when OctZerg is going to try and go for a counter, and this is not good timing. LML does not have his cannon ready. Looks like the 2 zealots should get out to be able to block this, though, but he has to make sure he blocks this, because if the lings get in, it's pretty much game over. But this is a tight wall at the bottom, nicely made here by LML, and the cannon is going to be ready, and he will be safe. Edgewood is saying in chat, I wonder what kind of strategy OctZerg will employ this time. Will it be a Zergling will in or a Zergling will in? I don't know much about OctZerg. Is he known for like ling all inning all the time? Like, I don't actually know OctZerg very well at all, so... Either way, all I know is he's a relatively, like, old school player. So... Unless I'm wrong about that. Maybe he's not. But I swear I remember his name from back in the day. Okay, Stargate coming in from LML. Lucky Noob getting triggered because people are lumping in all the Zerg all-ins into one basket. Oh, that's funny. Still no lair, so I imagine we're going to have a Hydra. No, actually a 4th hatchery coming in. Is he going to go like 5-6 hatch Hydra? There's still no lair. He has started to mine gas again, and whoops. Misclick there. I mean, it's definitely too late to go for a Hydra all in, so I think he's going to go for, yeah, he's going to go for super macro behind this. 5 hatches before Hydra, then using his lings to contain the Protoss. You can see LML has been forced to add a 2nd cannon just to be safe because he has absolutely no idea what his opponent's doing. We've got +1 attack for the Corsairs coming in and 2 Stargates as well. Interestingly, LML skipped his first Corsair. And yeah, once again, to all the people who have just turned up, I do apologize for casting the same time that ASTL is on. If you do want to watch ASTL, I do not mind. You can always watch the STPL VODs afterwards. Now we've got +1 attack coming in for OctZerg here. This hatchery still not up, but will be up fairly soon. And still no lair, so still no lair somehow. I mean, it looks like he wants to go in. There's the 6th hatchery, so it looks like he does want to go into macro. But with no lair, I feel like the Corsairs could do a lot of damage here, especially given the fact it is going to be 2 Stargate Corsair. There's going to be 3 There was going to be 3 Corsairs very soon, but it looks like the 2nd Corsair, or the 2nd Stargate, is kind of out of use at the moment. But if you can get in with like 5, 6, 7 Corsairs, it doesn't matter how many spores are underneath them, you will kill all the Overlords and you will cripple the Zerg. Looks like maybe that was the 2nd Corsair and it's just a little bit this time. Now LML is just kind of sitting on his 2 bases. He will be building up to his Templar Archives. Most likely going to go up to around 6 or 7 gateways and go for a push. Taking a 3rd base on this map isn't too difficult, given the fact you only really have to defend this bridge. And of course the mainland here, you can of course also expand up here and just defend this bridge. So that's probably where LML will choose to take his 3rd if he wants to. But given the fact it is so close to the Zerg, it can make it quite difficult, especially later in the game, to hold on to it when Defilers start coming in. But we've got 5 Corsairs now. There's only a single spore. There's 3 Hydras, 4 Hydras that can shoot up. But that is not going to be enough to hold on to the Overlords here. We've got more Sunkens being added on. It looks like OctZerg is getting ready to defend against some kind of attack that isn't coming just yet. 7 Corsairs now on the field. Somehow an Overlord went completely undetected down here, which is pretty good. We've got +1 armor coming in first, actually. So going for armor first. This is an interesting decision. I've not actually seen... I think I've seen this before, but you don't see it very often just because +1 attack for Zealots is so unbelievably important. But here we go, Corsairs going around the outside of the map. They're going to find 2 free Overlords here. The 1 Hydra is not going to defend these. There's actually 3 Overlords that he can get. As long as he cycles away the damaged Corsairs, he shouldn't lose any of them. Looks like 1 does go down to the Spore Colony there, but he's going to find another Overlord. Look how badly these Overlords are clumped here. OctZerg is already supply blocked. And I honestly think LML could sit here and lose these Corsairs and feel in a pretty good spot. He doesn't want to lose all of them though, but he does know exactly what his opponent's doing. You can see another Overlord going to go down here, and that is so much money. The 2 Corsairs coming out at a time, very easy to replenish them. Now LML getting ready with DTs here. Looks like he's coming in from a different angle. Going to be able to get another Overlord. Another 2 Overlords actually. OctZerg is so crippled. That's so many minerals he's going to have to replace here throughout this game. And that is definitely not what OctZerg wants to deal with right now. He's got a good amount of drones. He's got a good set of upgrades. He's already going into +2 attack. He's got both of his Hydra upgrades. Is there still no lair? Okay, there is a lair finally at least, and a Spire is coming in. But LML is going to be building up for a very big attack here. He's got 5 gateways, 6, 7 gateways, 8 gateways actually, and going into a robo. So he is not going to be looking to take a 3rd base. You kind of want to stay on 6 gateways if you want to do that. But LML, his army is going to be very strong. He did get armor first, but he's going for attack now, and by the time he attacks, that's going to be ready. The DT killing all the links down here in the bottom right. This is also going to be good for checking out to see whether or not his opponent has got a hidden expansion, which is very, very useful. Going to stop him being able to expand down there as well. You can see that LML even checking all the other bases just to make sure his opponent doesn't have more than he's expecting. Now, if the Corsairs come into the 3rd base and kill all the Overlords, that's going to be 1 dead Sunken and a lot of dead drones. But here we go. Looks like this could be a big engagement. This can actually end the game depending on how the storms go. Nice pick-off there on that first High Templar. Nice storm though. But the High Templar does go down. There's mainly Zealots here. There's no Zealot leg speed. And OctZerg is getting into a very, very strong position here. He's got so many Hydras that he's building a ton of Lurkers. And without leg speed, I don't know how these Zealots are going to be able to deal with this as long as OctZerg micros this properly. And there's no more Storm. There is no more Storm, and if he gets himself blocked by these 7 Lurkers, how is he going to leave his base? He's going to need to go for Reavers, but then Reavers are not the best units in PvZ early on just because they are so expensive. Now it looks like we are going to have a lot of Overlords going down again, but the Corsair's in a little bit of trouble. A little bit of miss micro there. He needs to make sure he keeps on top of those. But all of the Overlords died at the 3rd base, so he can go in and try and get the drones. There is, of course, the Spore here. The Sunken should be able to kill the DT, but this is looking rough for LML now. LML is in that position that Protoss players never like to be in. He is Lurker contained, and it is so hard to get out of your base in this situation. Now we do have a shuttle with speed going across the map here. I'm interested to know why he never got Zealot leg speed. I guess it was just a mistake here, but Corsairs flying over to the main, seeing if they can find some more Overlords to kill, but unable to do so. There is just Hydras morphing here, so that's a little bit unfortunate. There is a large stack of Overlords here that if he can kill, he's going to be in an okay spot, but OctZerg is getting ready to take the supply lead, and when that happens, you know that you're in trouble as a Protoss player. I mean, obviously you know you're in trouble already by what's happening here, but the 8 gateways, they need to continue pumping. LML has a ton of money here, and he's actually got his units stuck because of a Dragoon and a Zealot on the ramp, so this is one of those moments where part of me wonders if the replay's bugged. But he's building units, so I don't think he is. Over here we go. Looks like LML going to try and break out. Looks like all of his units die almost immediately. So many Lurkers here. There is a Storm. He needs to use the Storm before the... there we go. That's a very nice Storm as well. But is there just too little too late for LML here? OctZerg is in such a good position. That's a very nice Storm on top of the Lurkers. But he's not got anything he can kill the Lurkers with. He can't clear it up, and the Observer going to go down as well. OctZerg, I think, has game number 1 here. The Lurkers getting very, very brazen here, moving towards the natural. They're going to be in a position to attack the natural mineral line. An Archon coming out here, but the Archon with no Observer not going to be able to do anything about any of these units. LML has plummeted in supply. He's only got about 40 army supply now. Another nice Storm, but that Lurker somehow avoiding it. That Lurker getting very unlucky there, running in there. And yeah, he should have taken a leaf out of Venom King's book and like built a load of cannons, but unfortunately the cannons wouldn't have really helped him too much. When you get Lurker contained, you need all the units you can, and you need to bust out, because if you don't, this happens. The amount of Hydras that are coming out here is unbeatable. The natural is going to go down here, and LML is going to be tapping out this game very, very soon. I don't see how he could possibly stay in. GG, LML taps out, and OctZerg takes game number 1. Okay, we'll be back in just a couple of minutes with game number 2. Is game number 2 the Radley game? Let's just quickly have a look before I send you off, because if it is the Radley game, that'll be insane. The next game we've got is actually Radley versus MasterReY, so we will be back. Just because I think this game is probably going to be a long one, I'm going to give myself a few minute break, like a 5-minute break. So, well, not that long. I don't need that long a break. I'm going to just start casting. I'll see you guys soon. Ignore me. I'm just going crazy. Okay, guys, welcome back. We are here for game number 2 of Ash versus Red, and this one we have the Ghost King himself. It's Radley. His average game duration against Protoss is 25 minutes, so we may be here for a while. He's won his last 2 TvPs. He is on a tear in the players he's beating as well. He beat Dragon on Blindside, which is the map we're going to be coming into now, and he beat HitEmUp as well. Can he get his 3rd win in a row? He's beaten MasterReY twice so far. In the first one he played was on Fortress SE. He nuked Horotos, which he was known as back then, MasterReY, about 6 times, I think it was. And then he did it again, I think it was on Neo Arkanoid. So can he do it again? Can he get his 3rd win against Protoss and against MasterReY in a row? That is going to be an interesting challenge for him, because MasterReY has been on his own tear recently. He's won his last 2 games as well. He's been doing really well on stream. He's very, very close to A rank, I think, on stream now as well. So MasterReY, really, really cool. He's actually the person who made, I think it's Brood War chart, is it? Yeah, MasterReY versus Radley should be quite fun. I think MasterReY is definitely not going to want to lose to Radley again, so I'm kind of interested to see what strategy both players are going to employ. Let's have a look at the map they're going into. It is going to be Blindside. You may have seen this in other tournaments, but only CMSL 4, Custom Use Starlink Season 4. But this is an STPL Season 4 map. It was made for the STPL Season 4 map contest, and it is absolutely great. Terran have won all 3 games on this map so far. Radley beat Dragon on here after a 20-minute slug, or 28-minute slugfest. So that was, sorry, it was SCR chart that MasterReY did. But either way, let's get into it. Game number 2. It's MasterReY versus Radley here on Blindside. Got the Terran theme, yes. Starting us off here in the 12 o'clock position, we do have the Magenta Terran player fighting for Ash. It's Radley. And his opponent spawning down here in the pink, fighting for red. It's MasterReY. Also, LML, you need to remind MasterReY to play with his clan tag on. Unless it doesn't fit. I guess it may not fit. Oh wait, Horotos is longer than MasterReY, isn't it? And he used to have red Horotos. That's a point. I think red, blue, green is the one that doesn't fit. Because I think red, blue, green is like red, blue, grit, and then there's no EN at the end. But it looks like Radley getting ready to go for a fast expansion here. Wait, is this not blocking? Is this not blocking the CC? I feel like this is 1 hex too far over to the right. Maybe not. I'm going to trust Radley here. Radley definitely knows what he's doing. We've got Gateway into Gas coming up here for MasterReY. It's so hard for me to say MasterReY. I'm so used to saying Horotos that it's like, ugh, MasterReY. Trouble is, I should call him Ray to make it easier. But then you've got Ray and Lay, so it doesn't, Ray and Ray. Ray and Lay. If you're talking in Japanese, oh my god. But Radley, yeah. It's all good. Luckily enough, we have an L and R in English that is well defined. But if this was Japanese, it'd be Ray and MasterReY, which wouldn't be great. Okay, so it is going to be a gas expansion here coming up for Radley, so it's not super all in. Well, I say all in, it's not really all in, but it's not like super greedy. I mean, 1 Rax expand isn't greedy in TvP anymore, but like when you go 1 Rax expand with no gas, you're kind of asking to get rushed. It looks like Radley is going to be able to build, so his command center is in the perfect place. Nicely done. Good SimCity here. As expected from the Ghost King. Actually, that's something. Venom should go against Radley, the Ghost King versus the Cannon King. Because the Cannon King would get nuked quite a lot and all the cannons would go down. And it would be a hard day for poor King Venom. Looks like MasterReY getting ready to go for his own expansion here. The SCV going to come in and see that this is happening. So Radley is going to feel very, very happy here because he is going to know there's nothing he really needs to worry about, at least for the next couple of minutes. We should still see Radley go. I reckon he's probably going to go into a starport just because that feels more like what Radley does. I don't think we're probably going to see race this game. Although again, that's something that Radley could do. But given he's boycotting the STPL because of the whole free the dodal situation, it's a bit rough. He doesn't like going nukes anymore, but he does go ghosts. We've seen a lot of lockdowns come out of him. A lot of arbiters lock down before they can recall. And when you see that, it makes you wonder, why the hell does not every Terran player do this? Like, ghosts are expensive, which is the problem. They're hard to micro, which is the other problem. But when you see... Like, when you see what happens to arbiters that get locked down before they can recall, in comparison to, like, arbiters that get EMP'd and then recall anyway, basically, lockdown is really good. Lucky Noob saying from Radley's results, that's why they don't do it. But that isn't why Radley loses the games in TvP. Radley loses the games in TvP because the games go on for so long that eventually he either wins or loses, depending on who has the most money left. Like, most of his games end up in mined out maps. It's really cool. Well, you know that anyway, but in TvP, he's actually nearly 50% win rate. He's 7 wins versus 9 losses. Yeah, and Carl, I realized I just Mike alone that statement, but... Oops. Oh my god. Okay, so we are back again here. I say we are back, I didn't actually go anywhere, but we've got 3 Dragoons. Nice siege by Radley there, taking out one of the Dragoons, heavily damaging one of the other one's shields. He could actually push out and kill these with his Marines and tanks if he wanted to. We do have the observatory out here for MasterReY. He is going in to his 3rd base, so we are essentially getting quite far forward here. We're basically going into a very quick mid-game here by MasterReY going for a very, very fast 3rd before a huge number of gateways or anything, but we've got 2 factories here. No starport was created so far, so I was in fact wrong about that. Radley going for his scan, checking for any tech, sees absolutely nothing that's going to worry him whatsoever, so he doesn't have to worry about building a turret ring or anything like that. Now, I do wonder when Radley is going to choose to move out and take his 3rd base, or I don't think he's going to go for like a 5 or 6 fact push, because that's just not how Radley plays. Like most games essentially, with Radley go super late game. It's just the way he plays. It's his style, it works. He does a really good job in the super late game as well. It's just sometimes he gets a little bit unlucky with like how many bases he can secure versus how many bases his opponent does. But there we go. Moves forward, kills the extra Dragoons. We've got an SCV somehow getting in, seeing the 3rd base, getting a view of all the Dragoons as well. And now Radley is going to take position to take his 3rd. So Starport coming in after 2 factories. 3rd factory coming up. 4th is going to be added as well. You do kind of want to go up to 7 to 9 factories on 3 bases relatively fast if you can. Because it's all well and good teching up super fast, but if you don't have enough units, I mean, imagine if MasterReY had like 6 or 7 gateways at the moment, then Radley would be in a lot of trouble. But looks like MasterReY getting ready to take a 4th base down here in the bottom right hand corner. This is definitely the best base for him to take, given how far away it is. But it's kind of funny because every game we have between these 2 players always ends up like this. Both of them just sit back, they macro. Not much goes on for like the first 15 minutes, and then it becomes really back and forth. Now looks like Radley going to get ready to add some more factories as well as transfer his SUVs over. He transfers a little bit late, but it's not the biggest deal. We've got the science facility coming in. Of course, the big question will be whether or not we see anything come up here. Because if we see a covert ops, that's going to be pretty good. Now we do have the Stargate done. We will have an Arbiter Tribunal coming in after this, most likely. I don't think we're going to see Fleet Beacon. Yeah, Arbiter Tribunal coming in. Fleet Beacon isn't bad on this map. There are a lot of like dead spaces. You can fly away from Goliaths. You've also got this massive area here. And look at this. Covert ops. There we go. The Ghost King's at it again. This will most likely be for lockdown. But given the fact this is Radley's 3rd game against MasterReY, and given the fact he's won with nukes both times before, I do wonder if he's actually going to break his vow of not nuking until the Dodal is free by nuking MasterReY again. But then again, honestly, I think Radley not going for nukes all the time has been winning him games that he would have lost before, because all of a sudden, he's not using a ton of money on nukes that don't really kill that much. Like, Lockdown is a very good, like a very, very good spell against Arbiters, right? But when you're running Ghosts in and they're nuking and dying, you're losing so much gas doing that. You're also losing 6 supply per nuke. So I honestly feel like not nuking everyone is actually helping Radley win a ton more games than he was before. Like, his last 2 TvPs were really strong. Now we should have Stasis coming in first, I would imagine, here for MasterReY, but he's not actually gone for any of his upgrades just yet. 4th base actually coming in over here. Looks like the probe can't build the Nexus here because of the Spider Mine. There's no Observer anywhere nearby either, so you can't really kill that for a while. Now this is a base that will benefit Radley, because it is quite easy to push this. If you push through the middle, up onto this high ground here, you can get a position over there and push towards the 3rd base. And there we go. Vulture is going to come in and confirm that this is happening. Mines being laid down here as well. Now the reason why you put a mine like this is even though the Vulture is going to die anyway, you can kind of bait some units into it. But there's an Observer here anyway, so nicely done by MasterReY. I would like to see some minefields in the forest. Looks like he is going to start doing that now, but he's not actually built too many Vultures so far. He's only really now starting to go into them. Here is the Ghostly Boys, both of them. There's 3 of them on this screen. There's one hidden within the tank, but he's getting ready for it. He's getting ready for the lockdown. We do have another scan coming in. We should have the upgrade coming here, yeah. So we do have Stasis coming in first. So Recall is not going to be a major deal. Looks like MasterReY already on top of clearing these mines. He does not want to get caught off guard by mines by running his units through. He is going to get hit by 1. Oh my god. Just as I said, he's not going to run into mines. There he does. That's the curse. Now it looks like Radley getting ready to push through here, through the forest. There's actually no detection here, so he's going to be relying on lockdown on top of the Arbiter to be able to deal with the army, and scans as well. Of course he does have scans, it is Terran. But looks like MasterReY could go for a counterattack here. Look at this, the Ghost coming in, the lockdown coming in as well. There we go, the first Arbiter completely useless. And another lockdown going on top of the shuttle as well. No siree, you are not going for your Zealot Bomb here. But there's not that many units here. Radley's army is kind of caught in the middle of nowhere. We don't have any additional lockdowns coming in, and all of the tanks are gonna go down. So it looks like MasterReY, in spite of losing his Arbiter, is in a very, very good spot here. You know, Radley going to use the position in the forest to try and hold on, putting more lines here, mines here even. Going to do his best to try and delay the army from pushing towards him, but Radley is now in a bit of an awkward spot. He's dropped a ton of supply here. He's up in workers though. The Arbiter is about to come out of, oh my god, he's brought his Marines over here to kill this. Can 3 Marines kill an Arbiter before the Arbiter kills a Marine? No, it's going to fly away. But that's not something you see every day. Oh, that Ursanon getting a little bit too close for comfort to those mines, but he is going to be able to deal with it. The Marine's still chasing the Arbiter. He wants to kill it so bad, but he's not going to be able to. More Vultures getting taken down. And now Radley is in a very, very awkward position. He's only on 3 bases. He's only got around 7 or 8 factories. I can't count. Please forgive me. It's early in the afternoon. I'm not awake yet. But looks like MasterReY is going up to the top left-hand side to try and break in to a possible 4th base. But no 4th base is there for now. Although it is going to give him the ability to defend this flight path, which will allow him to send a recall in if he chooses to a little bit later on. Now Radley, for the time being, has stopped... Well, he did stop building ghosts for a bit. He's only just now started building them again, so his... Oh, actually, he's got one here. His energy on his ghosts isn't going to be too high, so he's not going to have a lockdown. And that one is getting a little bit too close for comfort at the front here, so that is going to go down very, very quickly. No cloak being used, that save it. Nice mine going off, though. And Radley is going to secure this high ground. I love when Dragoons die. Now more and more scans coming out from Radley, checking for the base in the bottom right, checking for how many Stargates there are, checking for any tech, checking for any upgrades. Now upgrades in terms of the game at the moment, LML is going for 2-1. We've got Radley on 2-1 already. Is he going for his +3? That is what we would like to know. Where did he build? Yeah, he's going for +3 but not +2 armor just yet. Did I call Ray of MasterReY LML again? Oh my goodness. Oh wow, okay, MasterReY, here we go. LML, it's because you're in chat all the time, I just see your name and it gets like subconsciously entered into my mind for any Protoss player on Red is just LML in my head for some reason. Now Radley is going to secure his 4th base. It is a mineral only, but every mineral counts here. The engineering bay is actually in a really weird position. That's going to go down. He doesn't want to lose that, though. We'll have to rebuild that. Yeah, Red is 90% Protoss, I know. And that's, I was saying earlier at the start of the cast, we've got a team of essentially full Protoss players, and somehow we've got no PvPs in this cast. I'm so happy. Looks like Radley going for a ton of probes here. He's not got too many. There's so many cannons here that the Vulture's unable to do much damage at all. He does get a 10 worker lead. Ray is going for his 5th base down here in the bottom middle. That is the mineral only, of course, so not going to be super important. But LML, if you don't know who he is the captain of Team Red. He took over from Red Warrior, because Red Warrior doesn't play Brood War anymore, he only plays Doom. Now we've got a couple of Arbiters here, both of them at full energy. That is at least 1 recall or 1 stasis. Oh no, here we go. We're going to have a fleet beacon. It's going to be a mass carrier switch here. Double cybernetics cores. If Radley can scan this, he's going to be in a very good position though, because he will have a timing, but Radley still isn't maxed out just yet. And that is when things become problematic here for our Terran player. But Radley getting ready to expand up here to the top left. He did build a command center here before, but cancelled it for some reason. I don't know if that was a misclick, but looks like we've got... what was I going to say? It looks like he's got... well, it looks like MasterReY is getting ready to push up to this top left-hand corner. I completely lost track of everything I was saying there, and then I just looked like an idiot. But we've got MasterReY going for a double expansion here. Radley going for scans, but not on the base. He does not know about the carrier switch just yet. This is so important. Radley needs to max out. He needs his +3, and he needs to hit a timing here, because he is going to be in an awful position if he cannot stop the carrier count before it gets too big. Now, the important point to make is because MasterReY is maxed out, he cannot build any carriers for now. Radley scanning, looking for the army. Scans for that base as well. Looks like he's getting ready to expand up here. Comsat station coming in. Oh, looks like the vessel came in. Did it manage to EMP? Yes, it did. He managed to EMP one of the arbiters there. Looks like some vultures coming down here to the bottom right hand corner. Going to be able to try and take down that base. Looks like he's not going to be able to, so he will pull back. But now there should be enough energy on a ghost to... I think, yeah, there should be enough for two... No, he's not got ghost energy. So he's not going to have two lockdowns. So he can only lock down one of the ghosts. But he is going to need to be careful here. MasterReY wants to clear this supply. Lockdown on the shuttle here. Lockdown on one of the arbiters. There was. It's only 100 energy. My bad. But one of the arbiters going to go down. No, it's not. It's not going to go down. Looks like MasterReY has got his way into here. Now, this is only... It's only a guerrilla attack, essentially, because what he wants to do is lose that supply so he can build mass carrier. Radley still does not know this is coming. And this is risky. And apparently I was wrong. Red Warrior has been playing a bunch of StarCraft recently, but he is a Doom streamer. He's also in chat now, so long time no see. Hopefully your Doom life has been going well. But looks like MasterReY going to come in from a different angle here. One of these arbiters going to go down to the units here. A ghost goes down, unable to be microed here. This is going to be a lot of lost supply for MasterReY. This could give Radley a chance to counter, but he's going to have to counter soon. Now Radley going for another scan. This doesn't hit what I thought it was going to do, which was the main. And he still does not know that carriers are coming. Now, lockdown against carriers, one of the best Brood War games of all time. Boxer versus Nelra on Monty Hall. Wait, was it Nelra or was it Busan? I think it was Nelra. That was lockdown versus carriers. And in that game, Nelra did actually beat Boxer. The lockdowns were not enough because he couldn't kill the carriers afterwards. But are we going to see that this time? Are we going to see a repeat of history? Or is Radley going to be able to lock down enough carriers to be able to win the game? He's still low on bases. Well, he's not super low on bases, but he's going for another one. He's getting ready to push into this fourth base. The third base of MasterReY is mined out now. So it's going to be a split map situation horizontally. The 3 o'clock base is going to be super important. But this base is definitely forfeit. But he's already got a decent number of minerals from here, so it's not the end of the world now. This is going to be rough. There's no scans coming in here for Radley, but this is definitely a ton of units. Well, he shouldn't have sieged his tanks there. I don't agree with that tank siege, but there we go. He still manages to kill all of the zealots, and the tanks are still alive. He needs to scan the forest. He needs to scan the forest to kill the dragoons. The observer definitely worth its weight in gold here. He does manage to hold on once again. Radley down to 144 supply, MasterReY on 166. But MasterReY is maxing out with carriers. And they are very, very strong units. Let's have a look. I can't see any of the upgrades to see what air upgrades he's on. But Radley going for a scan. He still doesn't scan the main. He still doesn't know the carriers are coming. But looks like Radley going to try and expand over to the 3 o'clock base. Going to try and take advantage of the fact he's killed his opponent's 9 o'clock base. The vultures getting in. There is so many cannons over here though. And killing the probes at the end of the day are just helping MasterReY max out faster on carriers. But obviously with less probes, it makes it so much harder to replenish all of those interceptors. So if Radley can trade well enough, he's going to be in a good spot. Now looks like there is going to be a counterattack going down on this base. There are no units down here for Radley. He's not going to be able to hold on to it, so should cancel. And there we go, the cancel coming in immediately. Radley did scan. He did see. He's seen the carriers now, so he knows what to look out for. He knows to build Goliaths. And this is when the real game begins for Radley. He's got a lot of money where he's been maxed out for quite a while, and he's not replenishing his army super fast. And MasterReY, given he spent so much money on carriers, is actually running dry now. He needs as many bases as he can get. His mineral only is quite healthy. His base in the bottom right is healthy as well, and so is this base. But this base, much like this base, is very easy for Radley to attack. And if Radley can get here and defend this high ground, he will take this base. Oh, the vessel's coming in. Is he going to be able to EMP all of the arbiters here? Looks like, oh my god, he gets an EMP on top of all the storm. That is very, very important here. No, he EMPs the arbiter as well. So very, very nice engagement so far by Radley. The Ghost adding a little bit of damage here. Some of the tanks sieging up, some of them not. Here we have it. Lockdown should be coming in here against the carriers, but no, yeah, there we go. He did get one. And here comes another lockdown. This one was on the Arbiter. This makes it a little bit easier to defend or deal with the carriers. But there's not many units here for Radley. He's down to 140 supply. That's 70 supply in army. And he doesn't have much to do with the carriers. The Archon's pushing forward, killing the turrets. Definitely a good position to be in. But here come the Goliaths. The tanks on the left-hand side going to get taken down. Is he going to be able to EMP? He EMPs the Archons. A very nice move. Going to make them essentially useless. And the Goliath's getting on top of the carriers. Looks like LML going to try and pull back the damage. Oh my goodness, another EMP going in. He actually lockdowns the wrong carrier. That carrier was about to die anyway. Only 4 carriers remain so far. One of them is still locked down a little bit further away. And I did say LML again. MasterReY is doing pretty well here. More Goliaths coming in. MasterReY not pulling back his carriers. More lockdowns coming in. That's another guaranteed carrier kill. And that is why lockdown is so good against carriers. But the Goliaths are, the Zealots are coming in here, and Zealots are so strong against Goliaths. Another carrier goes down again though. Only 2 carriers remain from the 6 or so that MasterReY had before. But Radley is down to 120 on supply. This is looking so rough. Things get so difficult for Radley. Like, his games always end up like this, with him low on bases, low on supply, but holding in there. Another carrier goes down. Nice target firing. This is such a cool game so far. We're 26 minutes in, and it's still going. That is Radley. It's the power of Radley's games. Now looks like the Goliath's going to come up here, clear out the final carrier. And that means Radley can start going into ground again, because there is no way... Wow, he actually is still building carriers. So he's going to be 4 carriers up. We've got the base over here on the left, going to get taken down by a small force of units. If some of these tanks just move forward, he can defend it. Looks like he's going to build, bring some Goliaths over here. No base taken yet on the right-hand side. MasterReY is down to just 3 mining bases now, and only 57 probes, and he does not have any bank left. So what you see is what you get. He is going to be able to macro up after this, but obviously Radley definitely in a little bit of a better position. He's still on around 4 bases. We've got another base coming up here on the right hand side. He's going to build a command center down here, and he is still remaxing. Looks like Radley doing his best to try and repair that command center, but it is going to go down here, most likely. Goliaths coming in, but Goliaths are not good against Dragoons, like, at all. And it's a shame he didn't siege the tank first, because that would have been so much better. Radley getting ready to come in with a load of vultures, but there is so many cannons down here, he can't really afford to deal with those. He is going to lay some mines, going to find the carriers again, which is super important. He knows to keep building some Goliaths at the very least. And here we go, here comes a ghost. Is that ghost? What is the ghost doing there? Unless he's going to nuke, why has he brought a ghost here? With no energy. Okay, that was a wasted ghost. But tanks on the high ground going to be attacking this base. This is such a good position to attack into. The carrier's in an awful position, but a great storm. Even storming his own High Templar, he doesn't care. He just wants to kill the Goliaths. He's like, okay, kill my High Templar, I don't care. But there we go. Looks like the Goliaths have been cleaned up. The carriers still reign supreme, but there are still 3 tanks on this high ground. And he will be able to secure his 4 o'clock location here. Well, I guess this is 3 o'clock. But looks like MasterReY getting ready to try and take this base again, if he can. There's a ghost here somewhere. Here we go. He's got enough for a lockdown. Can he get it? Yes, he does. He gets another lockdown in. That's going to be another dead carrier. And so many lockdowns throughout the course of this game is really, really sick. But here we go. Looks like this will clear this up. The carrier hasn't been killed just yet. He's going to try and go for the carrier that's got interceptors that's attacking him, but he needs to kill the lockdown one, or the lockdown serves no purpose. He's not going to get either carrier, and this means this base on the right hand side is going to be taken out again. Radley pulling back once again. MasterReY is still behind in workers. He's even on bases, but he's ahead in supply still. Both players down to around 120 supply again. All of the SCV is going to try and distance mine, but he should really bring them back. He doesn't want to lose these. But essentially, MasterReY is going to be unable to take this base. He's probably not going to be able to take this base as well, as long as Radley sort of balls his army properly and goes back. So it's going to be rough. Now, one thing to note is Radley never actually retook his mineral only. He definitely should do that. It's definitely worth doing. Now, funnily enough, there's an observer sat next to 2 vessels. He will eventually lose it, but the Goliaths are taking their sweet time to get there. It's really funny because essentially every game I've seen between Radley and MasterReY goes like this. They all go super long, they're all super scrappy in the late game, and they're all super exciting to watch. It's really, really cool. Now this base up in the top left is still pretty healthy. It's about halfway done. This base is healthier. This mineral only is almost gone, so I think that's probably why he's not bothered taking it beforehand. Now if we have a look down here, this base is around halfway done as well. This base is around the same health as Radley's, although if anything this is a little bit healthier. Looks like MasterReY is trying to expand over here to the 3 o'clock location again. This is a very, very important base when the map has become split like this. Now Radley's got a lot of his units in the middle of the map. He's not got a big army. I think pushing here is a mistake. I think Radley could throw away the game by pushing here. He needs to ball his army. He needs to max out again. Pushing with less than 200 supply as Terran is not what you want. Even 3-3 is like 3-3 is good. Nice D-matrices on the front tanks. That is going to make his army a little bit hardier, but look at this. There's so many units. I think this is the nail in the coffin. Radley pushing a little bit too far forward too soon. And I think MasterReY is going to get his revenge on Radley for the first time in the STPL. How does Radley deal with these units? Storm coming in as well. More and more Zealots getting on top of these final remaining tanks. And with only 44 supply with army. Where is it? Where is his army right now? He's got vultures over here that aren't really helping. I mean, he is going to sit back and try and defend. Radley still does have a lot of money. But MasterReY has taken the supply lead for the first time in a while. More and more tanks rallying out into death along with this ghost. I think this is going to be game over. I think Radley is going to win. I think MasterReY may win this game, and it's so tough on Radley to lose a game like this. But the games that Radley loses end up looking like this. Like, he does so well, and then he just pushes a little bit too far forward too quickly, and then you end up in this situation, which is so tough to watch because Radley has played his heart out here. I mean, MasterReY is running out of money. One of the carriers goes down, and if the carriers goes down, he can kill the Dragoons with his 3/3 tanks for sure. I mean, MasterReY is running out of money. If Radley can just max out, Radley can still come back in this game. That is the whole point of this game for sure. Looks like MasterReY kind of regretting that you had all of these units over here on the left hand side of the map. Radley coming in with some vultures, gonna try. Oh, doesn't get the mine on the mineral line, but still. Gets a couple of probes, but probes aren't the problem. The army is the problem now for Radley. He needs every single unit he can muster, and he must kill MasterReY's army. If he does not kill MasterReY's army, the game is over. There's only a single carrier here. That is not a big problem. There's no mines out in front of his army. These vultures, all with 3 mines, absolutely heartbreaking to see. The Goliaths don't even need to focus on the carrier. They're going to try to, but the trouble is Radley has so much money. It's just he can't hold on to his base. He cannot hold on to his main anymore, I don't think. Oh, the mines definitely going to be helping out here. Nice mines on the Dragoons. Going to help him stay alive just a little bit. One tank going to come back here. Going to run into the army. Radley is still mining off of his 3 bases. He still has a big bank. But look at the army that LML has. Oh, sorry, MasterReY has. MasterReY is just basically rallying across the map now because he knows he has Radley on the ropes. It's so sad to see a Terran player lose from this situation. And LML, yes, I said LML again. But you know what I mean. I just have LML on the mind, man. Yeah, this was such a good game by Radley. He showed us so many cool plays, so many cool everything. But he can't get on top of his rallies. He needs to re-rally into his main and just hope that the MasterReY doesn't attack all his bases. Like, if he can force MasterReY to attack his main over and over again and kill all the army, he can still do it. But yeah, this is tough. It's so hard to see a Terran with such a big bank lose like this. It's so heartbreaking as a Terran player, but MasterReY has played his heart out as well. He has definitely done a brilliant job this game. He lost a lot of carriers throughout the course of the game, but he still knew where to attack. Interestingly, he didn't attack the expansions. He's trying to go for the throat. Now, if he wasn't on 125 supply, I would say that this could give Radley a way back into the game. But Radley's factories are being camped now. And that one carrier on 86 health is just basically horrible for poor Radley here. There's more units rallying across. He's essentially just making a conga line of units rallied into Radley's main. Like, this is so hard to watch. GG, Radley taps out. MasterReY gets his vengeance on Radley and wins the game for Team LML here in game number 2. We'll be back in just a few minutes with game number 3. Where LML will be fighting again, probably. I don't know. Oh wait, no, I think we have a Terran from Red this time. It's all good. Right, see you guys in a sec.
first game. D-Ride 2. We gotta know. One out. D-Right 1. Just there's the pitch. Change. The Angels. This inning. Ball. D-Right 1. There's the pitch. Ball. One out. Two out. D-Right 1. Change. Nothing for the Griffins. This inning. Let's see what they do next time up.
Okay guys, sorry about that. I am back. We're here for game number 3 somehow. I've been streaming for an hour and 15 minutes and we're only on game 3, but that is the power of Radley. It's going to be on Pathfinder. It's Cryoc versus Kwark. Let's get into it. Okay, starting us off here in the bottom left-hand corner, we have Kwark in the magenta, fighting for Ash. Complaining about a Protoss map. And starting us off here in the bottom right-hand corner, fighting for red, it's Cryoc. We haven't seen Cryoc much this season. Cryoc was definitely more active in previous seasons. The last game he played in the STPL was at the end of STPL Season 3. That was on the 12th, oh sorry, the 7th of December 2020. He played like pretty much every week before that as well for the course of 4 weeks. He's not been around too much. But Kwark has recently gained infamy by being the person that Artosis, I think, hates more than anyone else in the world. So that's why a lot of people may have heard about him. He is a British guy who now lives in America. He jumped ship before it got bad, and well, he kind of jumped from one sinking ship into another, but now it looks like America's righting itself, whereas we're just going further underwater. And unfortunately, what our government didn't realize is we're not a submarine, so it doesn't help. But either way, pretty cool. It's kind of cool to actually have someone else from the UK to be able to cast, because not many people in the UK play RTS games. Like, the biggest games in the UK are like COD and FIFA, which is just sad. SCP in chat saying America plugged the hole, but there's still a third of the crew trying to make another. That is a fair point. Lucky noob, Kwark is Protoss. Oh, it's because Fish I said Cryoc is cooler. Oh, that's a fair point. Wait, Cryoc is cooler? The Quake Pro? That's insane. I didn't know that. Oh my god, that was such a bad joke. Someone needs to put me back in jail for how bad that joke was. Well, that's why Cryoc's not been playing Brood War that much recently. He's been playing Quake Champions. I'll tell you what, just while we get into this game, like one of the friends I've made through VR chat who's from Estonia, I've been playing Quake Champions with him and it's really fun. Legit, there was a massive thing that happened with that guy and you should probably check on Team Liquid. Like, if you search his name, you'll find out what happened. I'm not going to go into it again. But I don't speak his name anymore because he's not my friend anymore. Okay, Cryoc gonna go for a most likely a siege expand here. Could go for a mine expand, but is gonna expand behind the bunker. There is of course the opportunity of going for like a fake expand as well, and going into a very quick starport. That's actually a very good build on this map, given the fact it is so strong when it comes to expansions, when it comes to drops even. But it looks like we are gonna have the command center coming in here soon. Kwark does have his expansion up already. And will start to add his tech on himself, so everything's looking pretty good. And there's the starport. So Cryoc is going to be going for drops on this map. I think this is probably why both players don't like the map as much. It's one of my favorite maps, so it is going to be a fake expand. It wasn't a command center. Now, this is something that Fancy used to do back in the day, because on this map, essentially, you can see this from the Fog of War, but if we zoom out and look, your map is essentially on an island in the middle of the map. And that is why drops are so strong here. There's not many maps like this in Brood War, but wait, why can't I? Oh, there we go. I was pressing the wrong key. I was like pressing Windows D, and I was like, why is it not bringing up the diplomacy menu? But it was, I meant to do Alt Z. But basically, drops are very strong here. It makes it very difficult for both Protoss and Terran, because carriers on this map are ridiculously good. Carriers on this map are ridiculous. Two of the best, no, 3 of the best TVPs ever played were on this map. It was Fancy vs Stork in the 2010 Bacchus OSL final, Fancy vs Jangbi in the 2011 Jin Air OSL final, and then Fancy vs Jangbi again in the 2011 TVing OSL final. Those 3 games are so good, and it's because of how good carriers are. Oh, that was a nice pick-off. Nice mine there. But yeah, the games were so good. If you've not seen those games before, please go back and watch them, because they are well worth watching. You can find them on the Team Liquid Pro database. The VODs are all on there. You can find them on YouTube if you know what you're looking for as well. But Pathfinder, definitely one of my favorite maps. But here we go, the dropship coming in. Only dropping a single vulture though. I'm not really sure I agree with this. This isn't going to do too much damage. Gets a single probe, does interrupt the mining. But dropping a single vulture is probably not worth it. You do get the scout. He does see there is a citadel coming up after a robo. Could be a DT drop. Sees a shuttle as well, so he knows that he doesn't have to worry. He's going to need to worry about a drop coming in. He is replenishing his vultures, but he does need to repair his dropship, because if his dropship goes down, that's going to be a pain. Looks like he is switching back into tanks now, because he knows he needs to go towards a defense fairly soon. The vulture has finally been cleaned up. And looks like this dropship going to come into the natural here. Does he must have mines on these as well. So he's got 2 mines. He should use those. Nice target firing so far by Cryoc. Gonna pick up. Oh, he's not gonna pick up his other one. Oh no, the dropship goes down. Okay. Well, that's the harassment over. Is he going to rebuild his dropship? No, he's not. I think going for more dropships is actually probably a good choice here, but he's not going to go for it. He's going to play more standard, going for an engineering bay. He knows that he's going to have to worry about drops himself. Also, just because he got brought up in the chat again, the reason why I keep calling MasterReY LML is because he changed his name. If he hadn't have changed his name from Horotos, it would have been fine. But I'm so conscious of calling him Horotos that I keep forgetting he's not LML and LML didn't change his name. That's what it is. It's entirely your fault. Because it's like, wait, is LML MasterReY or is Horotos MasterReY? I can't remember. That's what my problem is. Like, if you didn't change your names, if you just kept your ID the same, his name in STPL was always Horotos. It's always been Horotos in STPL. Ever since the beginning, and then he changed it to match his other, like, his username elsewhere, which makes sense. People are saying I'm obsessed with LML. We do have a second dropship coming in, so that's good. We're going to get some more harassment damage done. Looks like he's going to try and go to the natural here. Scan's coming in to see if he can find out where the best place to drop is. Oh, he's... Okay, this is strange. Why would he drop his tank there? Did he drop the wrong unit? I think he dropped the wrong unit. What the hell? If he had a tank here, he could then siege the mineral line. But he dropped the wrong unit out, which is a little bit unfortunate. Cryoc may be showing that he's not as experienced with dropship play as some, which makes sense. A little bit of a mistake there, but he is going to be able to get his tank over here anyway. But the trouble is, that gives Kwark a chance to come back and defend against this. So, I mean, there is a shuttle here, but it is way out of position. If he sieges here, he can hit the minerals. Let's see how many units he can get. Scan coming in, does attack the Dragoon first. He should focus the probes 100%. 3 kills so far. Can he get another one? He's not using the... Okay, he's going to drop one. Oh, this is a good move, actually. Dropping a single vulture, but he has to attack the units. Killing this attack the probes. Killing this cannon's not going to do anything. You're not going to be able to kill it in time. The tank, unable to see, but does manage to get those 3 kills, forcing Kwark to move back, forcing him to deal with this stuff. Now, he does scout that there is an Arbiter coming in. Now, Kwark hasn't fixed his mining, so Cryoc did get the benefit from that drop. You can see that the that poor tank did not get picked up. The dropship going to fly away here. Now we do have Science Facility coming up, second armory, so he is going to be going 4+2, but his Science Facility a little bit late here, +2 going to be delayed. He does have his third base up, he's going for a wall here. If you wall a little bit further up, you can actually wall off with 2 depots. But looks like this isn't going to be a full wall, it's just going to be a turret and a depot. We've got another turret coming in here as well. If you siege some tanks up here as well, that path basically becomes impossible to go through. Now, dropship does manage to make its way home, which means we are going to see most likely another drop coming in. Scientifically done, +2 attacks started, +1 armor about to be started as well. A couple of idle SCVs here, but not the end of the world. The mines left by Cryoc have been cleaned up in the middle of the map. Kwark done a very, very good job so far of keeping on top of basically everything. +1 armor is on the way. You can see he's noticed that his SCVs were out of position. He is supply blocked, which is a little bit unfortunate. Very unfortunate timing for sure. Because he is going to have to make sure he maxes out soon here, and he is going to have to defend against this Arbiter. Now, where is the Arbiter Tribunal? It's up here. He's going for recall. Stasis must have just finished. Now, it looks like the Vulture is going to come back here. Now, the important thing to note is Kwark is still only on 2 bases. And when you're only on 2 bases, that isn't the best position to be in. Now, it looks like the Vultures are going to move down, going to come into the cannon just before it finishes, so he's going to be able to get a ton of damage on it. That's going to be a free cannon kill. Tanks dropping off into the main. Siege mode has been done. Looks like 6 kills on these tanks already. 7, 8 kills, 9 kills. Now he should really focus on this Arbiter Tribunal. If he can stop recall, he is going to be in an incredible position. It looks like the Vultures have stopped the base from coming up. Looks like he is just trying to go for as many kills he can. 14 kills on these tanks so far. Lift them up and fly the tanks away. I definitely think that Cryoc isn't a drop heavy player, because he really should exploit the fact he can lift his units back up and fly away. Like, if he'd saved those 2 tanks, it keeps that as a threat for later. But here we go, the dropship. Great unit movement by Kwark, catching that dropship before he can get home. Very, very nicely done. Now another 4 factories have been added on. This is going to take him up to 10 factories, which is a huge number on 3 bases. But the problem is, with his SimCity, how does he come back to defend against a recall here? Recall is going to cause him so many problems. Nice tanks on the high ground though, making it a little bit harder to just run around mindlessly in the middle of the map. But you can see it looks like Kwark is getting ready to, like, maybe, I was going to say airlift into the main, but not going to do it. Looks like we are going to have a ton of mines being laid. So this is going to be how he's going to deal with the recalls. Why is Kwark saying the worst map ever? I don't understand. What? Like, he's playing weirdly. Like, why is he saying it's a bad map? But here we go. Looks like Kwark maybe getting ready to go for an expansion. I think Kwark just thinks he can't attack. I don't get why he's salty either. He's in the lead. Like, well, he was in the lead at the very least. Like, why is he salty? I mean, Cryoc is only on 3 bases right now. Like, Kwark should be expanding. I don't get why Kwark isn't expanding here, but here we go. Looks like we are going to have a recall coming in. Let's zoom out a little bit. Oh my god, he stasis his own Arbiter. Oh my god. What the hell? Oh my goodness. Oh damn, that is so funny. Wait, he can EMP this, right? Oh man, that's probably the funniest thing I've seen happen. Please someone clip that. Kwark is just trolling though. I don't get it. Why is Kwark trolling? He did save his Arbiter technically, but it's gonna die as soon as the stasis ends. And it was on full health. Oh my god, could you imagine if he did like a 200 IQ move and just recalled it exactly that moment? And just everything died? Oh man. Kwark is such a troll, man. I don't get it. Thing is, Kwark is still in an amazing position, so he's probably still gonna come back and win this game. Like, Cryoc needs to take a gas. He's gonna be able to take the gas in the top right. But Kwark is in a position where he can attack and he's just not doing it. I think he's complaining because, like, he keeps mindlessly running around by the high ground where he gets sieged by. Oh yeah, Kwark doesn't actually have his 3rd base yet, but he's in a position where he can expand. He's down in supply now though, and he did lose 2 Arbiters for free, so I mean Cryoc is probably going to win this game now. Kwark was definitely in a better position before, and there's the EMP on the Arbiter as well, just to add insult to injury, but here we go. Looks like we are going to have an engagement coming in here. Lots of Vultures coming in from behind. Kwark is going to lose all of his army here, most likely, given all the Zealots already dead. Oh my god, so much blue go. And now Kwark's Salt is definitely going to come out here. He's going to blame the map. Kwark is 100% going to blame the map here, but there we go. GG. Lol. Kwark taps out. Cryoc wins game number 3. We'll be back with game number 4 after this short break. See you guys soon.
Welcome to Lake Paradise. Select an area. Large area. Enjoy your fishing. Select the lure. select the casting point.
Bite it.
Hit bonus. Turn the rod right. Turn the rod left. Turn the rod left. Turn the rod right. Lost. It's coming in. It came off. It's gone. Time's up. Come on, try it again. It's coming near. Bite. Fish. Hit bonus. Careful with the tension. Lower the rod. Turn the rod right. Turn the rod left. Turn the rod left. Lower the rod. Be careful. Oh, a big one. Rank in. Time bonus.
Okay guys, welcome back. We're going to be going into game number 4. This one is going to be Desert Dwellers. This is a really fun map. The last game rOuta played on this map, he did lose to Terra, but he had a very interesting idea for a build. I wonder if he's going to try and do it again. HitEmUp did see the game, so he should know what to look out for. But let's find out as we get into game number 4. Right, of course, one thing to note as well is obviously Red are 2-1 up at the moment. If HitEmUp can win here, we'll go to an ace match. If rOuta wins here, we will have the end of the series. So let's see what's going to happen. Okay, starting us off here in the top left-hand position, we do have our Magenta Protoss player fighting for red. It's rOuta. Okay, and his opponent spawning over here on the top right. Look at rOuta, he's doing the same build again, it looks like. In the red, fighting for Ash. It's HitEmUp. Oh no. Oh, rOuta was going for... Oh, he's going for a gas steal. Never mind, he's not doing the same build. This is way too early for a gas steal though. This is so strange. Why did he scout so early? This is the world's fastest gas steal. Like, I'm kind of confused why he's doing this, but rOuta came heavily prepared last time for this map, so I wonder if this is another one of his special builds. Okay, now we have HitEmUp actually walling in. This is a feature of this map. You can wall in both spawns, so HitEmUp doesn't want to get caught off guard by a early proxy gateway or anything like that. But rOuta isn't doing that though, he's just going for a gateway back in his main. Doing a really good job keeping his probe alive so far, but that probe is forfeit, he's not going to be able to get out. I do wonder if he's going to go for like a mana pylon, but there's not really too many mana pylonable minerals here, so not super effective. You'll only really catch one. Now this is what I like to see. Now if he starts mining minerals as well, and then just constantly goes back in and out of the gas, that's true probe harassment. That is so annoying to deal with. Makes you mine out of gas quicker. And it's free real estate. It's not hard to do. rOuta can actually sit here and rebuild his gas when it gets killed as well, which is the funny thing. rOuta back at home is going for his cyber core. His gas is up as well. This is when it becomes hard. The marine will stop you mining, so he's going to give up for now. He wants to keep his probe alive. He wants to re-steal the gas. That is such a triggering moment if you can do that, but there we go. The probe does go down, so this gas will be cleaned up. This is a lot of lost mining time from those 3 SCVs. He should build his command center, which he's going to do here. And finally, for the first time this game, HitEmUp is going to be able to go scout. He knows there's no zealots at his base already, so he knows it shouldn't be proxy gateway. But he has to confirm what his opponent's doing. Otherwise he is going to be in a weird position. Okay, I do wonder how HitEmUp is going to play this map. We've seen a lot of early pushes from Terran here. We've seen a lot of like late game games as well. One of our longest games ever went 40 minutes on this map, and that was a PvP. So if PvP can go that long, TvP definitely has the opportunity to do that as well. Sorry, that game was 43 minutes I think, or 46 minutes or something like that. I've not got it in the database yet, the time, so can't check, but SCV still scouting around. He's still looking for proxies because he doesn't really know, like, he doesn't feel secure right now. The expansion is coming up. We do have the bunker up front as well, which is going to help him defend it. Yeah, Ryan Matlin in chat saying that if you reach mid-game, you're kind of guaranteed to get late game on this map, which is true. It's definitely it's a map that very heavily kind of defends the late game. You only really have 2 positions or 3 positions of attack into the opponent's main, and they're quite small, so it kind of makes it easy to split the map, which is cool. Thing is, split map games are really fun. STPL, especially in previous seasons, had a lot of maps that kind of favored aggressive play. And what ended up happening is we didn't really have any long, really cool drawn out games. And because of maps like this and Blindside, we've got that now. And I think that's been one of the best things about Season 4 so far. But HitEmUp needs to repair this bunker. Oh, there we go, he does. It's so hard, like, it's so nerve-wracking when you see a bunker almost dead. Thing is, in a team league, it's good to have maps that sort of favor aggression, but it's good to have a mix as well, because you always, we've got the armory coming in by the way, you kind of want a mix of long and short games, because if all the games are long, it becomes way too hard to cast and watch and follow. Like, one of my biggest problems with the BSL, and one of the reasons why I struggle to follow it, is the series go on for so long. Like, every map is pretty much a macro map, and while it's fun seeing a really long best of 5, when there's like 4 best of 5s being casted in one day, it's like, this is just too much StarCraft for me to follow. It's the same problem I had with the KSL as well, because there's like a limit on how much time you can spend watching Brood War in one go. And one of the reasons why I started doing a team league again instead of Clash Royale, which was like a weekly tournament, is basically like the cast for Clash Royale used to go on for like 6 hours. Admittedly, STPL goes on for about 6, 7, 8 hours a week, but that's over 3 days. It's not on one day. There was some BSL days that went for like 8 hours. It's just insane. I wouldn't have the energy to do that long. It really is impressive how well Zero handles the BSL and everything. But the maps aren't too standard, because the thing is, in a solo league, you kind of need standard maps. Like, you need you need standard maps essentially in a 1v1 tournament. But because team leagues, you can pick whatever race you want to send on a map. It doesn't matter if the map statistics are skewed in one way. But there, here we go. Looks like we are going to have a Reaver coming into the main base. We do have a Vulture going down, but looks like the Reaver, very nice turret positioning here, going to make it very difficult for the Shuttle to come in. He does lose his first Zealot, but it looks like this was an SCV rather than a Vulture. I thought there was a Vulture down here, but I mean, that's essentially the Reaver out of commission for the time being. Albert just said in chat, can't bash the Ash. What we should probably do is, you know, like in... I think it's more like an American sport thing, and they do it in Japanese sport as well. I mean, and I know in Europe, a lot of countries have this as well, where basically they have like specific fan chants, and they have like people doing drums and stuff. Like I know Finland have people who like have drums to like keep the beat. In England, we don't have that, right? In England, people just like scream whatever they want, and then everyone kind of in the stadium does the same thing. So like, there's so many weird like fan chants that are kind of born from that. But there's no real like when you look at the like planned fan chants that you get in Europe, America, like South America and stuff, you have like really cool kind of like fan taglines for the teams. We should probably try and get some of those. Like can't bash the Ash would be a good one. Now we do have carriers coming up here in the top right hand corner of rOuta's base. So rOuta going to go for 2 base carry here, going into his 3rd base after the Stargates. HitEmUp not really in a position to go and attack very soon, but he is on 6 factories. So if he doesn't go for a command center here, he's going to be going for a timing. Now HitEmUp does not know about the carriers, but he is still going to go for a 6-fact timing anyway. Now this is a very easy map to defend your high ground, as I mentioned before, but rOuta has 45 workers, 97 supply, so that means he's only got about 40 supply in units right now. 50 supply in units, exactly, at the moment. And that's not enough to deal with a 6-fact push. But looks like we are going to have a counter coming in from rOuta. He does have his Reaver here, which is going to help, and you can see that it's forced the army of HitEmUp back. And as soon as this army comes back from here, rOuta is going to know, oh my god, the mines devastating the army there from rOuta. He still does have his Reaver. He needs to get this back to the high ground over here, but I think there's just too much Terran. The first carriers have come out, but if he sieges here, he can hit one of the Stargates, I think. Interceptor upgrade almost done. HitEmUp is getting a position over the high ground, and I think HitEmUp may be taking us to an ace match here, because this is not looking good. rOuta is in so much trouble now. He doesn't have the army, he doesn't have the interceptors yet to deal with this. And here comes the Reaver, but there's nothing to drop it with. And there we go, he loses it before he drops as well. The carriers are coming out here, but of course there's going to be Goliaths coming back to reinforce this. Can he kill the tanks fast enough? I highly doubt it. He's only got about 3 Interceptors on the carriers at the moment. The carrier's actually taking damage from the Goliath. And he needs more. He needs time. He's got his third base, but his third base is about to go down to the tanks going to clear this. They just want to pretty much end the game. rOuta is still at 43 probes, so he is still okay in terms of economy. But the problem is units. He needs units. You cannot win without an army. And an army is something that rOuta is not going to be able to he's not going to be able to muster, is what I want to say, not roster. Roster is the other word that I was thinking of, but that's wrong. Now HitEmUp. Look at this. He's done the damage he wanted to do. He killed the third base. He killed a bunch of probes. And he's going home. He is going to go back, reinforce essentially with purely Goliath, and push again. And the timer, like, rOuta is essentially on like an egg timer here, right? And this egg timer is about to run out. Because you can see there's so many Goliaths here. He still only has, well, he's got his 4th carrier now, but it's going to be a long time before the Interceptors are done. He's got no +1 attack for his carriers either. Actually, he does have +1 attack. But he does have enough carriers now that he should be able to kill the tanks. But the Goliaths are the problem. Like, the Goliaths are the issue, and the tanks can kill basically everything else. And I think this is going to be it. rOuta is trying to hold on the best he can. He is able to pick off the front tanks, but at what cost? He's down to 2 bases. Third base is trying to be rebuilt again, but he's not got any intercepts anymore. GG, rOuta taps out. HitEmUp takes us to an ace match when we get back after this short break. See you guys soon.
はい、STPL へようこそ。前に約束したんだけど、やっぱり、ギャナーズのポンポン気持ち歌えないんですよね。うちで。それでは、公式バージョン歌えるなら、大丈夫ですかね。試してみるよ。これは、パミューのポンポン。
Mission 2, start. Thank you. Laser gun. Thank you. Thank you. Iron Lizard. Shotgun. Thank you.
Thank you for pointing out I was muted. I'm an idiot. Thank you. Starting us off in the top left-hand corner, fighting on the mainland for Ash, it's Kwark. And his opponent, it's going to be a rematch. Starting us off in the top right-hand corner in the teal, fighting for red, it's Cryoc. It's the UK versus Germany. Name a better rivalry. If it was football, maybe England could win. But Germany's won once today already. England got frustrated and left the game. But there we go. Let's see what's going to happen now. England have beat Germany in football before. The thing is, if I was a normal English person, I would still be like parroting on about 1966 when we won the World Cup. The only time we've ever won it. Every World Cup is insufferable because all of the English people who like football are like, 1966 is coming home. It's coming home. We get to the quarters sometimes. Like, we don't do too bad. It's just our team isn't very good, and it never is. But we're not one of the worst teams in the World Cup. We're still okay. In the Euro, we always seem to go out in the group stages for some reason, but... Recently in the World Cup, I've started supporting Japan because they seem to do better than England do, so... Yeah, SCP, so SCP in chat, just while we're waiting, we've got a 12 next, by the way, coming in from Kwark. Basically, just in case you can't see the chat, SCP says if your last one was a lifetime ago, you probably shouldn't bring it up. The thing with football commentary, especially in the UK, I don't know if this is the same in like Germany and Europe and South America, but basically, the way it works for English commentators is a lot of the time, you know how like I'll bring up stats in the STPL? They'll do that, but they'll bring up stats that are just completely pointless. They'll be like, oh, in 1942, these two teams played against each other, and this was the outcome. This is the first time they played in 60 years. Who is going to get the win? And it's like, in the STPL, bringing up like previous wins, I can understand. And I know this is me being very very biased. But basically, like the wins in STPL have all been within the last 4 years. The teams are the same, right? Nobody who was on the team in 1942 or on the coaching staff or anything for those teams in football will be around now to play or work on the coaching staff, right? SCP saying in America we call them baseball stats. I guess they do that in baseball as well, but it's like when all of the people that were involved has and 1942 may not be the right year because that was during the middle of the World War II, but like they just keep bringing up like random stats like that. It's crazy. I can't stand football, but there we go. Cryoc gonna go for an expansion into a starport again, kind of looking like how we usually see this map go when someone's on the island. Like, one thing, if you haven't seen this map before, it's a semi-island, semi-mainland map. Now, I'm not... So, just while we're waiting for stuff to kind of happen... Oh, we've got no sound effects. Just so, like, I don't miss anything in the game, I'm just going to say one last thing about this, and it's the fact that I don't think those stats are necessarily bad. I think they can be fun. But it's when people take them seriously. Like, most football fans in the UK will know that they're just saying it to just have something to say, and that it's kind of interesting. It's like, oh, the last time these two teams met, It may have been a long time ago, but there is like this rivalry going, even though it's like 100 years old or something. Like, that's cool. That's actually cool, and I think it's fun, but it's when people take them seriously. Like, if you see it as a joke, it's all good. Well, not a joke, but if you see it as something just to add a little bit of color, then it's all fine. Like, just to, oh my goodness, so the Corsair misses the dropship coming out. If he'd have got this dropship, Cryoc would be in such a bad position. But there we go. So, Craig is seeing a Corsair. Okay, that's weird, but it's because it's an island map, so Corsairs are really, really good. If you can block this happening, all of a sudden you're in an incredible position when you're on the mainland. But that's 3 probes already, 4 probes. Can he get a 5th? Yes, he can. 5th probe is down. The last time Cryoc killed 5 probes, 6 probes, 7 probes was back in the 1939 STPL season, right before the outbreak of World War II. But looks like mines killing some of the Dragoons. Kwark still in a lot of trouble here. More mines coming in. Cryoc trying to bait the Dragoon. He baits the Dragoon. That's another mine hit. And Kwark is in a lot of trouble here. The Corsair doing its best. It finally finds the dropship, so no more drops are coming out here. And there's nothing that can actually kill the Corsair right now. He should fly this into his mineral line and repair it. That's what he's going to do. He's going to repair over the damage. Look at this. How often do you see this engagement? Is he building a Wraith? Nope, no Wraith. He doesn't have an armor. Well, he's got an armory, but no Goliaths. Oh my god, he's going for the drop anyway. Oh my goodness, he gets the drop off. How is that? Where? There we go. This drop is going to drop the vultures out. He's going to go for 2 towards the 3rd base. Oh, it's going to fly into a cannon. No, you don't want that to happen. Oh, he needs to get out of the way. But if he doesn't drop the vultures, he's going to lose the dropship anyway. So he may as well go for it. 2 vultures going into the natural, unable to do any damage. But the 2 in the main may be able to do something here, but there is a cannon. Kwark does not want to lose more probes. He's lost another 3 though. Nice target firing here by Cryoc. And there is some mines. Oh, that's a dead Dragoon. Oh no! We were robbed. The mine could have been so good, but it blew up the other mine. Now, we only still have the 1 Corsair, so he's not going crazy into Corsairs or anything. He is on 3 gates now, he's on 3 bases going into a robo, so he's in a very, very good spot this game. Cryoc is only on the 2 bases, of course. Looks like the starport moving over here to a place he can't build the add-on. Now, unless he's going... Oh, it's a 2nd starport. I think he's going Mass Wraith. He's going Mass Wraith. This is sick. He's playing the Radley style. Unless he built that by accident, I think he's going Mass Wraith. But he's going for ground attack, so I'm not so sure. The barracks has made its way all the way over here. This is a very nice place to put it, by the way, because you can see when a shuttle goes past to try and build bases in the bottom left. Yeah, you would have thought that it'd be for Wraiths, right? Because if you wanted mass dropships, you would build a add-on, but you can't build that on here, so that's a little bit unfortunate. Now it looks like Kwark is getting ready to take his 3rd gas. He's going to be taking it at the 12 o'clock position. This is still on the mainland, so it's relatively easy for him to defend. But he is quite close to his Terran opponent, so he does need to be quite careful here. And look at this, we're going to have 3 dropships loading up. There's only a single Corsair, so these are not going to be able to deal with this whatsoever. Cryoc getting ready to take his 3rd gas as well. Cryoc can actually build the command center here and fly it over, so that's what he's going to do. But with 3 dropships, all of a sudden this is looking pretty dangerous for Kwark, because Kwark doesn't have that many units. If he drops on this high ground, he can slow push the 3rd, or maybe that's not the best place to drop. You maybe want to drop up here. And that looks like what he's going to do. Is he going to wait for another dropship? Nope, no more dropships on the way, so he should definitely get going. Dragoon's in a position to now see what's going on. The hive is finally going to go down. It takes so long for these hives to die. But there we go. It looks like Cryoc is going to come in. Cryoc scanning ahead to see if there's any units up there. There is nothing to scout for this. The Corsair is in the middle of the map not doing anything. And this is going to be a problem. He is going to be on top of the Templar Archives. If he kills that, that is going to delay the Arbiter Tech so much. Looks like the Vulture's getting in a position to lay a load of mines. Oh, the Arbiter Tech's already done, so killing the Templar Archives not the biggest deal, but he's going to have a tank on top of the position to be able to attack the probes as well. Dragoon being sacrificed into the goons. That's going to be a big mine. No! No big mines here. Cast a curse, but that's an okay mine. Oh my god, there's so much damage being done by this drop. It's trading so efficiently. He kills a bunch of units. We've got triple dropship coming in again. He's going to go for the third at the same time. And the Dragoons are all in the main. Cryoc is doing such a good job pulling his opponent out of position here. And this is so hard for Kwark to defend against. Kwark really needed to stick on Corsairs or go scouts or something. He has to do something about the dropships. Like, we've seen so many times Terran lose this because they just can't get off of their island. Because Protoss keep going mass Corsair into carriers, but it's definitely not working out here for Kwark. Kwark was trying to go for mass ground. It's not worked so far. The tank's still alive. One of them does go down. But Kwark is definitely going to be feeling the pain here. Another 3 dropships coming in. That starport's still not doing anything. I think he built that by accident. I was hoping it was going to be a MasterReY, but there we go. Looks like we're going to have another lot of tanks. Another lot of vultures dropping down. He's actually dropping the tanks next to the Dragoons. He's microing them as well. This is so sick. Well played by Cryoc here for sure. That was such a sick drop. Kwark loses his third base. He's going to pull back his probes. But this third base is so important. Cryoc's bank is massive, where he's been not building too many vultures because he's not really needed them. And this is just such a well-played game by Cryoc. Kwark definitely struggling a little bit. I think Artosis maybe needs to watch Cryoc's gameplay against Kwark to figure out how to beat him. That might be a good idea. It looks like Cryoc is Kwark's kryptonite here. So there we go. We've got another expansion coming in for. Well, the expansion's coming up here for Kwark. Looks like we've got the 4th expansion coming up, but that is right by all of the units. There's a lot of zealots here. They do not have zealot speed just yet. The mines clear all the vultures though, and this drop will be cleaned up. But that is just one of many drops. More and more units are going to be coming over here. We've got the Corsair finally in a position to do something, but it's not enough. Now, does Kwark see the drops this time? Yes, he does. But all of his units are in the middle of the map. They are not back here defending. And this drop is going to once again get into the main base here. And just imagine if he had like 4 or 5 Corsairs here. All of them would go down here. He's actually going to drop in the 3rd base to kill it off. And all of the units will run it back to the main. Now this is going to be 3 sets of units that are going to go down. The Corsair dies. And that means there is absolutely nothing here to kill the dropships. And he picks up the tanks. And he's going to fly into the main as well. This is such a well-played game by Cryoc. I am very impressed. We've got a vulture down here stopping an expansion in the bottom right-hand corner. More dropships are going to be on the way. This starport is still the loneliest starport in the world, and Cryoc is going to get ready to probably go and expand down to the other island. And when he gets that other island, Kwark is going to be in so much trouble. He finally has an Arbiter out here, but one single Arbiter is not going to be enough to deal with what you're doing. Cryoc can actually take the base in the middle as well, which is 2 gases, which would be very nice. Yeah, Cryoc only just now finished his 3rd, by the way, so he built it a while ago, but he just didn't transfer probes down, or SCVs down there, I don't think. So he is going to go for the island. He's not going for the base in the middle. But he's going to be able to triple expand down here, and there's nothing Kwark can do about it. Now this drop is not fated to go very well here by Cryoc. He does drop some units out to the middle. They get immediately chased away. Finally, we have the starport moving and another control tower. We've got a lot of dropships coming in here. This is a very drop-heavy game. But Kwark is starting to stabilize. Kwark is stabilizing now, and that makes things difficult for Cryoc, because essentially if Cryoc gets later in the game and he doesn't cripple Kwark, Kwark is going to trap him on his island. Now we are going to need to see Cryoc expand down here. He's got his SCVs down here, but he's not kept on top of them. But when you start to see Protoss with a ton of Arbiters, they can start stasising every single drop. And that is when things get problematic. We've got Corsairs and Arbiters coming in at the same time here. But basically Cryoc is having trouble working out how to kill Kwark. And that is one of the problems of being on an island as a Terran player. Like, you can defend relatively easily, you can see a lot of turrets are going to be made, a lot of mines as well. But you have to kill your opponent at some point, right? You can't just survive forever. I think what Cryoc's going to do is go for the world's biggest drop and just end the game by trying to drop the main. But Cryoc is struggling now because he has to worry about the possible recalls coming into his main. And that's a big, big problem. Yeah, and as Radley's saying that Cryoc plays the map wrong, making the same mistakes as what he did versus DeWalt, where he's not tried to set up mainland, basically. He's going for the other island, but how does he defend these bases? Like, if they get recalled, he's got no way of defending them. What he should probably do is build factories down here, and start to build tanks and stuff. Lucky Noob saying in chat, we say nukes 3 times when Radley appears. Is it like Bloody Mary? If you say that in front of the mirror 3 times at 3 AM, then Bloody Mary comes and kills you. But here we go, recall coming in. Not a massive recall though. The Arbiter does go down. This is going to be easily defended. Now while this is going on, Cryoc should go for a drop, because there's a lot of units that are nowhere near where he needs them to go, but here is the second Arbiter. Where are the dropships? Okay, they're all here. They're not loaded up. Why is Cryoc not going for more drops? I don't understand. I like how he defended that with basically just vultures. Like, he didn't have any other units there. And here we go. Oh, this is an observer, so he knows now about the bottom left-hand bases. Cryoc is still sat in his base. I think Cryoc isn't really sure what to do with his dropships and where to go. It's either that or the replays bug, but money is being spent. Buildings are being built as well, so I don't think it is. It makes it so hard. It makes it so hard to play on a map which is unlike others. Like, it's so difficult to change what you're doing. But here we go. We're going to have a recall down in the bottom right-hand corner. We're going to have a recall on the recall, I think. There we go. Some Dragoons being recalled in with the Arbiters. He's going to build... He brought a probe with him as well. And now he's going to take the bottom left-hand island. And this means Cryoc needs to take the mainland. He needs to get on the mainland. He needs to secure the bottom right-hand bases. Or this game is not going to go in Cryoc's favor. Cryoc has so much money, but he's just not able to spend it. He's not macroing amazingly well because, I mean, it is a weird situation. Like, how do you deal with this? Now, it looks like he is going to try and drop on the mainland, but he's dropping on top of the army. This is not what you want to do. And another Arbiter coming in here. No energy on this, but these units are going to go down. I think Kwark has won the game. Like, Cryoc has lost the game here. Like, he can't win. Yeah, there's so much supply in dropships. He's mining out of his main and his natural. He's got 2 bases remaining. But basically, Kwark is going to have every other base on the map. Cryoc still has a chance of coming back in, but he needs to drop better. Like, he needs to... Like, if he'd have just dropped the main, he would have probably won. But unfortunately, he's now going to be up against carriers. The fleet beacon is done with the interceptor upgrade. +1 attack is done as well. Now, there is units down here which are slowly starting to kill some of this base, but... I don't know, it's rough. Like, we've got another drop here, but it's dropping once again quite close to the army, but this time it's going to go a lot better. Most of the army is down here in the bottom right, so this is a good place to drop. If he can kill the bases of Kwark, he can still win this game. He has to kill the 4th base. He has to get this reinforced immediately. There are so many gateways, and there's so many units as well, but if he can reinforce this properly, he can kill 2 of the remaining mining bases here by Kwark. Cryoc can take the middle base as well if he wants to. And Cryoc is definitely looking in a better position. I counted him out, but it's looking good for him now. We definitely need some mines, though. As Love Wisdom Truth says in chat, sorry I couldn't see because your name is really dark on the dark platform either, but here we go. One of the Arbiters very, very close to dying here. There's not going to be a stasis from here, I don't think. He's going to recall some of his units back down here. That is a good use. Where's the scan? Where's the scan? Where's the scan? Doesn't need it anymore, but does get an amazing tank volley there. That was very, very nicely done. But you need to start killing bases. You need to start killing anything. Like, get more units over here. Push the 4th base from down here. And kill the units. Because you are going to be up against carriers soon. And there's 4 of them already. 5 are going to be built at the same time in a second. And they are going to go straight for a counter. They are not going to worry about this drop. They are going to go for the throat here. And this is when things become problematic because you have so much supply in dropships. There's not many Goliaths here. The dropships need to get away from here to pick up more Goliaths and come back. He's got so many vultures, but vultures don't shoot up. There's a lot of turrets. They are going to be helping out a lot in this engagement, but grats for him to spawn. Cryoc leaves. He was still in a good place. The game wasn't over, but Cryoc doesn't feel like he can win again. No Goliath range either. And GG. Cryoc taps out Ash. Takes out Red in the ace match after a very, very long series. Okay, so that is going to be the end of the series for today. If the games didn't go on too long, I was going to cast Soul versus Naz as well, but I'm going to do that tomorrow instead. But still, very, very cool series. We had so many good games in this series as well. OctZerg taking down LML, MasterReY taking down Radley, Cryoc taking down Kwark on Pathfinder, HitEmUp bringing it back to the ace match by taking down rOuta on Desert Dwellers. And then Kwark taking down Cryoc to win the series 3-2 in favor of Ash. And that is going to be good for them. They are going to put themselves in a good spot moving forward in this season's STPL. And I'll be back tomorrow at the normal time of 2100 CET. We've got the Clan Wars actually coming up in the next 2 hours, or the next hour as well. So that's going to be the ones for next week. Thank you for tuning in. I know it's a weird time for me to be casting. I hope you enjoyed the games. I know I started off a little bit hungover, but I woke up a little bit. I'm going to find someone to host. I don't even know if anyone streams this time of the day, so let's find out who's around. Jalen streaming. I might, yeah, I'm going to host Jalen. I don't know anyone else who's streaming really, so King Venom is streaming, but I know Jalen really did take the STPL seriously, and she practices a lot. So let's host Jalen, and I will see you guys next time. If you're watching this, you're watching the STPL. Hopefully you've been enjoying what you've seen so far. If you want to help me make more STPL content to bring more tournaments to you, please support us on Patreon, which you can find up here. And also, there's so many different things you can get through Patreon. One of the main and one of the easiest ones to get is, of course, access to all of the replays of the STPL so far. We've had some amazing games, such as some of the games you can see just over here.